Bonjour, Ani, Kwe, hello, and welcome to Beautiful Acres Farm and our food security project for the Mushkegowuk territories. Natalie Ndijnakas, I am Natalie.
And I'm Derek Wilson. And we own a small new farm out in northern Ontario. We're a family with Métis roots. We produce poultry, grains, herbs, and all sorts of natural health and skincare products. Before we begin and discuss the cause and the reason why we've gathered you here to listen to our story, I thought it would be important to share with you our values and our mission and our vision. We here at Beautiful Acres Farms are extremely family oriented, and we believe strongly in supporting the community that we're part of. We have permaculture values. We believe in earth care, people care, and fair share. And it is because of this that we have a vision to improve food security and promote access to all natural health and skincare products throughout Northern Ontario. Our mission here really is to serve the communities that we are part of by providing affordable, high-quality agricultural goods and products.
The cause, food security. Over 50% of the First Nation on reserve people suffer from food insecurity. We're seeking to improve that by producing pasture-raised chickens and selling them to the communities of the Mushkegowuk territories, such as Moose Factory in Fort Albany, for the lowest price possible.
This video will show us what is causing food insecurity in the north.
It's not easy. The weather has been playing games, really making it harder for us to do our traditional hunting. It's colder than it's supposed to be, or hotter than it should be, so we have to go look further and further away. I got 3 kids, one that's 4, one that's 2, one that's 7 months. The 2 boys love to eat. We usually try to provide it through the land, like caribou, fish, all that, rabbit. I feel pressure to go out and get something, because you're not always going to find something, you're not always going to run into something.
Our fun time is like when April comes, when all the geese coming back, that we call that Mushkegowuk, like the blooming season. I think the scientists, they call it the solar season. Then we get summer, we go out to the bay and fish all summer. When the fall comes around, we have Mushkegowuk, we call it, it's like the freeze-up season. We started hunting moose there. We go way up the river. And then when winter comes around, which is now, December, a lot of people go out during the holidays and hunt for caribou. You can get nasty cold. If you don't know the area, there's a good chance you will not make it. I hunt for my parents and also for my sister, and she has 4 kids, so there's 5 of them, and myself, so we eat a lot of caribou.
change in the climate is messing up our river. It froze, and then it got warm again, and then it pushed in more ice, so it all bunched up, and it made it hard for us to get across the river to our usual hunting spots.
There's a lot more risks where they're traveling on the river, and it's scary when you're driving on the river, but you take that risk because you want to feed your family. The majority of our people live off the land. It's just like a cycle. When you're growing up, you have these people feeding you as a child, and it's just like you're giving back to them when they become elderly. And hopefully when I'm old, I have somebody giving me some food too.
If we had to buy everything through the mighty dollar, I guess I would call it, it would be very hard for most families to live on a good diet because it would be just too expensive. I don't think we could make it up here without hunting and fishing.
Prices are at the store are way too high. It's the shipping costs and like the freight to get it in. It's like $6 for a can of pop sometimes. $7 for a loaf of bread. You know, like, it does get expensive. Vegetables, they don't last too long. Every time we get them, they're either rotten or just about to be. One whole caribou can last us maybe 2 months, 3 months at the most. But if that's all we have, because the weather hasn't been good to us, then it might last us only a month and a half.
Years ago, while I was in Toronto, I think it was like 2008, I started studying climate change and became very interested, and I started to see the future, I guess, that the impacts that it will have on the future generations. So one of the things that I really worked on is to have a community-based monitoring system. The biggest impact that I've seen out in the land is the melting permafrost. The rate that it is melting, it is quite alarming. And that's why I'm here. I really want my people to have a good future. It is our right to keep on living the way we used to, and also the right to adapt for a better future.
My biggest fear of climate change, losing everything, losing our tradition over the weathers. If we lose what we have now, what will we have to show our children in the future? How are they going to eat? They can't just live off the store all the time.
I am worried. I'm worried for my grandchildren. I'm going to be worried that they won't have the freedom to go out and provide for their own families. That does worry me. That's our culture. That's a part of us.
Mukuuhtuustiniikaan kittämättiset se kohdassa me kotkana kattuufaket se kohdassa. Kiannaman tiini tentaan saakot maaga muuna annaman tentagatteu. Ekika kui totsagatteu kekon kavise. Toin tsagattek se totsagatte.
As we just saw, the effects of climate change are making it more and more difficult for households in the northern reserves to live traditionally, and as a result, they have to rely on the food brought in by the stores. Food that costs much more due to the increase in shipping cost. Also, food that is pretty close to turning bad by the time it reaches the communities to begin with. As the gentleman mentioned, sometimes the food, the vegetables that they get, they're not fresh. They're very close to rotting. So the quality of nutritious food is also very poor and extremely expensive. This leads to a reliance on unhealthy snack foods, which leads to a poor diet, and as a result, their physical health begins to deteriorate. Also, due to the troubles they have trying to find healthy, nutritious food for their families, they have increased stress levels, and they begin to worry more and more about trying to make ends meet for their families and to feed their children. Ultimately, what we see here is a severe decline in the quality of life for all generations in those communities.
How will we help? By reducing the impact of shipping costs on food, increasing the quality of food by raising pasture-raised chicken, empowering the indigenous residents by providing the option to purchase from the farm or from the store. What we need from you. Beautiful Acres Farm is in the early stages of development in the chicken department, and we require some financial assistance for the construction of infrastructure to raise and grow the chickens sustainably. This provides resources for our farm to continue to provide this service to the people of the Mushkegowuk territory for many years to come.
Through your support, we hope to reach our fundraising goal for $23,000. This money will be put to good use. It'll help us acquire the chicken tractors we need to raise these chickens on pasture while keeping them safe from predators and biosecurity threats. We also want to improve our brooder facility and purchase the equipment we need to be able to successfully raise batches of 300 chickens at a time. In addition, improvements to biosecurity and predator and pest control are absolutely essential. With the increase in avian influenza this year in 2022, it is very important that we make sure that we do not spread this infection to our flock and risk losing the entire batch. So with this money, we hope that the equipment we purchase will last about 10 to 15 years, feeding close to 17 families a year if we were to do 3 batches of 300 chickens. What this means is instead of us having to pay for the equipment and trying to incorporate that cost into the chickens, we can just pass the savings on to the consumer, to our community members up north, and reduce the price by about $1.7 to $2.50 per chicken. Any funds that we raise over and above this goal will go directly to reducing the price of the chickens to a minimum of $2 per pound, including shipping. And those funds will be held in trust for this purpose until they're fully depleted. Why are we trying to keep the minimum price? Well, it's all about that self-determination. This is giving them the option to purchase. They do not necessarily want charity. They're not looking for charity. So they just want to be able to pay equitable prices to take care of their families. And we're looking to provide that option to them. Beautiful Acres Farm has partnered with the Chicken Farmers of Ontario through the Artisanal Chicken Program, a program that ensures all biosecurity and regulatory requirements are being followed. We've also partnered with Buy and Ship Incorporated. It's a distribution company that will pick up our chickens as soon as they leave the abattoir, about 4 days after they leave our farm, and deliver the frozen whole birds to the communities in the James Bay region. Buy and Ship has also worked with us to ensure that the shipping cost is kept reasonable, and we have come up with some strategies to ensure that the cost per pound to ship the birds are kept as low as possible. We intend to do batches of 300 chickens about 2 to 3 times a year, depending on the weather and other environmental concerns, and also in accordance with demand. But we want to do more. This is just a start for us. We hope to continue to grow our production with each year, increase the batch size as time moves forward, and hopefully one day be able to produce 60,000 chickens a year. feeding approximately 1,500 families annually. But it all starts here, at this first stage. We intend to release a newsletter to every donor at the end of the growing season, detailing exactly how their money was used, how many chickens were raised, and how many families we helped. Those who contribute $500 or more will receive their names added to a special section of our webpage, thanking them for the support. And they'll also get the newsletter every single year that we do this program, so they can see the lasting effect of their contribution. Donors who contribute $1,000 or more will also receive access to our financial statements and a briefing note on our plans for future growth. And we'd welcome any feedback they might have to help us shape how we continue to help and support the communities in the North.
Our lifelong mission. We are very passionate about our vision to improve food security in our region. Living along the coast of James Bay, we have fallen in love with the communities and the people. We hope that we can give back to them for the rest of our lives, and also hoping our children will agree to carry it on. But we need your support to make this happen.
So if you're looking forward to helping, there's a few things that you could do to really assist the cause. First, you can lend us your voice. Let others know about our mission and the cause. Spread this link. Second, if you had the resources, please take the time to go to our GoFundMe webpage, donate to us, help fund us so we can get the capital infrastructure that we need to continue this project for this year and the many years to come. And finally, if you're interested in raising your own food to support the communities in the North, please feel free to reach out to us. We will do our best to share our knowledge with you and to help you achieve your dreams and your goals. This brings us to the end of our presentation, and we would like to thank you from the bottom of our hearts for taking the time to learn about the cause and for your consideration.
Welaliak, miigwech.
And be well.